commend and salute our engineers and technical teams who have remained on site, working tirelessly under extremely difficult conditions to restore the system to full operation. Let me tell you that your dedication, your professionalism, and unwavering commitment in the face of these daunting challenges and situation is truly, truly commendable. I salute you, I thank you, I commend you, and I'm immensely proud of what you've achieved so far. Given the situation, I've also directed the MD for the Electricity Company of Ghana to provide regular and timely updates to the public on areas that will be affected. We will not shirk responsibility. We will not deceive you. When I briefed the president told me to be honest and transparent. Yes, this unfortunate incident leaves a gap, and so it will affect some people. And so ECG, under the management of Engineer Julius Kwekwen, have been publishing regional updates. And in collaboration with the Ministry of Information, we're even going to make it more available for everybody to see what is happening. But because it is fluid, because it's not like the regular load shedding, where you are aware that for a foreseeable period of time, you cannot restore power, we cannot do weekly publications. In fact, engineers are working around the clock. Within this week, they are pushing to restore all the plants back online. And so we can only provide you with a very short interval periods. Indeed, this morning, we published a schedule for 6 o'clock to 6 p.m. That's 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. This afternoon, they've had to review it because one more plant is come on with about 140 megawatts. And so we would not live in denial. When we face challenges, we will tell Ghanaians. We know that, like me, every Ghanaian wants to enjoy uninterruptible supply of power. But I also do know that Ghanaians also appreciate it when we have genuine challenges that is not caused by policy failure or intentional. We will be honest with you, but we'll also tell you what we are doing to address the situation. And we have since been doing that right from the day I visited the plant and all the periodic updates that we've been providing. Let me also state clearly that disasters of this nature are neither predictable nor entirely preventable. And even in advanced countries, sometimes they face challenges. However, what remains within our control is the speed, the coordination, the honesty, and the determination with which we respond to these challenges. In our attempt to swiftly restore power, safety would remain paramount. The safety of the engineers is very, very critical. We can't afford to lose even one soul or sustain any injury. And so this work ought to be done diligently, meticulously, in accordance with safety standards. We would move with alacrity, we will move swiftly, but we will not seek to cut corners. To get to the root cause of this incident, as Minister for the sector, I've constituted a technical team chaired by the Venerable Engineer Williams Amuna to conduct a thorough and independent investigation into the incident. They will focus on the technical issues and come up with a report in 2 weeks. I'm well aware that the security agencies are also conducting a parallel one, looking at possible culpability and criminality, and we'll be waiting for that investigation. Let me assure Ghanaians that we remain fully committed to restoring normalcy within the shortest possible time. I have been briefed that the engineers are working around the clock this week, and I intend to visit them this night to thank them and encourage them. I wish them the best of luck, and I know they can rise to the challenge. And from what I'm witnessing, the engineers have indeed shown that they can do it. Thank you very much. Let me now deal a little bit with the few pockets of distribution challenges that we face. Many transformers across the country are becoming obsolete and overstretched due to increasing demand and years of underinvestment. In about 10 years, our demand has doubled. In fact, when you look at the record, it has more than doubled. What it means is that we have to increasingly invest in the sector. But due to underinvestments over the years, this has resulted in overloads, low voltages, and recurring outages. Government is addressing this issue head on by implementing a nationwide transformer upgrade and replacement program. As an immediate intervention, this month alone, we have installed almost 200 transformers, and we have the list with Roxanne. He will make that available to you. In Tamale, on the day of the incident, I personally visited Tamale, and we have the list of all the areas that these transformers have been installed. This week, we intend to deploy another 140 of these transformers. In all, we seek to deploy 2,500 transformers to improve supply reliability and improve the voltages as well. To improve these voltages, high capacity transformers are being deployed at key primary supply stations. Already, we have done Adenta, and that can be verified. We've done Lashibi, that can be verified. Yesterday, we did Teshinungwa, that can be verified. Within this week, by close of week, we will move to Kumasi to tackle the Rage primary substation. These are big, big transformers. And we are moving away from the 20 kVAs to... I really investing in the sector. But it takes a bit of time to realize the benefits of all the investments we are making. The Ghana Grid Company is also preparing to commence critical transmission reinforcement works in Kumasi in June. And what we've decided is that we should allow the World Cup to pass. After that, we'll zoom in to do the transmission works. We're also working on some distribution lines, and Avensis will move to Kumasi this very week to commence work on the distribution lines. To further strengthen the system in Kumasi, Senate Energy Limited is airlifting a critical component which is expected to arrive here tomorrow and will be transported to Kumasi to further strengthen the generation network in partnership with Gridco. And so let me assure you that we are confronting both immediate disruption and long-term structural weaknesses within the ECG and NETCO operational areas. We inherited a challenge, but we are determined to address that challenge, like we did with the fuel issue, with the generation issue, with the IPPs, and all the other hydra-headed problems that we encountered. We are restoring what has been disrupted. We are replacing what is not fit for purpose, and we are determined to build a stronger, more resilient power system for the future. We remain fully committed to delivering reliable. Experience you are going through is transient, it is temporary, and I assure the people of Ghana that we shall work around the clock to restore normalcy and improve the sector. Thank you very much, and may God bless us all. I'm most grateful.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Energy and Green Transition, for that crisp and well-created briefing. Well, at this stage, I know that there are many questions agitating the minds of media personnel gathered here. And so we would right away open the floor for questions. In the interest of time, please keep your questions brief without lengthy preambles. And as is the usual rubric, we expect that you identify yourself and the media organization you work for.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Shadrach Odamejare, Metro TV Ghana. My first question has to do on some questions I picked on social media. I was asking the minister, the dumsor has been happening before this said issues with transformers and fires at Gridco. So I don't know how he would respond to that. And the second one is the stepping aside of the Gridco CEO. That also they are asking, is that not too reactionary, and is that not going to undermine the work of the said committee before the report comes in? And my last is a plea. Most of the people, like it or not, who point fingers and cast insinuations at the minister and every leader here will possibly do it in Chi or Ga. So can we please have a rap in Chi? Said yeah, young to me bro for nimu ye and Chi for no more metiase na yanko kase minister ne say so non kai me das.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, Hanan, please move to the microphone. Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Abdul Hanan Adam, and I work with the EIB network. Minister, you said the ECG boss would, or ECG would provide timely update with regards to when these lights will go off. But is it not to say that that is publishing dumsor timetable in disguise, as the minority will put it? How do you respond to that? My second question has to do with the shake-up in the Ashanti region. Is it that you decided to do the shake-up because you agree with the party chairman in the region that it is some sort of sabotage with regards to power distribution in the region? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mark Solagboba from Joy FM Joy News. I have 3 questions. I don't know if I can ask them.
You need to make them snap.
Okay, yeah. So the first one, the minister rightly mentioned that we are facing this double whammy of a challenge in the power sector because of one, installation of transformers, and then the fire incident at the Akosumbo Gridco substation. Now, I want to find out from the minister, for many of the people who are watching us, they want timelines on when all of this is going to end. I know the minister touched briefly or gave us a time to anticipate that it's all going to end. But many of the people watching us want clear timelines. They just want to see their lights on, and that's their concern. So I want to find out from the minister what clear timelines, can he give? And then the second question, it's a public interest question. I've seen comments on social media that the Gridco boss was actually asked to proceed on leave in April. He was given his letter in February, and that release saying that he's been asked to go on leave is just a face-saving thing by the government. I would love that he responds to that for me as well. And then my third question, what lessons are we learning from this incident? It is a force majeure, of course. We don't have any control over it. But what buffers are we going to create so that another time we have a force majeure like this, consumers and Ghanaians will not face this kind of disruption, in power supply? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So you will take the last one from Bloomberg, after which you answer.
Yeah, Minister, thank you very much. Yeah. My name is Eko Moses. I correspond for Bloomberg. Honorable, regards the suspicion of possible arson, is there scope to use AI and security, special security installations around these, even the new ones you are installing, the 30 kV and what have you? Is there scope to use that and also to monitor for subsequent events when they happen? 2, regarding 1,000 megawatts that you said we have lost, can you put it in size and scope for us in proper context? For example, what is our total peak capacity or installed capacity or peak demand, so that we can put this rather in proper context? And also, if I'm installing new transformers, how is that going to affect our installed capacity moving forward? For just proper context. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So the minister would answer these 5 questions, after which we take.
Thank you very much. Before the incident, you would attest that last year the power supply was very, very stable. Indeed, we received a lot of commendation following the generation stability and the supply we had. This current challenge came up around February, March, when we started moving into the heat, and some of these old transformers, in the heat of it, you begin to experience it. So that's a record. What has just happened last week, like you said, it's a force majeure. and something that you do not have. Our peak demand is about 4,350, or say 4,400. So if you lose 1,000 megawatts, that's about 25% of the population without power. So that's quite significant. But like I said, 2 units have been installed so far. The third unit is on the way. And in terms of what you describe as timeline, have set together within this week, they will restore. Transformer replacement, we have the first 3-month program. So in the next 3 months, we're going to do an emergency crash program of installing transformers. Then the next 6 months, we'll move into another phase. Then 1 year, we'll just be doing regular upgrades. And so in terms of specificity, when it comes to timeline, that is it. Stepping aside of the Gridco MD, yes, I visited the sites, I think on Friday. And after receiving the briefing, I was convinced that he needed to step aside. It's in his own interest. You just spoke about conspiracy theory, all kinds of speculations and accusations. In fact, it helps him that when he steps aside and we conduct an impartial investigation, and it's done without prejudice. If you look at my letter on Friday, I stated that without prejudice, I've directed as minister that he steps aside. That is different from taking your normal leave. This is not a normal leave. If it's a normal leave, you can choose to come back. It's a normal leave. We can recall you and say that forgo your leave because we need you, especially in this critical moment. This is a ministerial directive, and so shall it be. Timely updates on when the areas will be affected. We've been providing that. In the past, sometimes we tend to try to dribble and deceive the people. You can't deceive the people forever. There are people at Gridco who will speak to the other party. It's not everybody who will be aligned to the government in any organization. And so when you are shedding 700 megawatts and you pretend people that you are not shedding, the people know. People are discerning. And so President Mama has directed that when we have challenges, let's admit it and tell the people of Ghana. And in this case, when you have a major fire incident, which has gutted your whole control center, which impacts not just Akosomo, but it also impacts the Pong Dam, because it's below the Akosomo Dam. It's a major, major incident. But we wouldn't throw our hands in despair. We are determined to work day and night. And that is why I give the credit to the engineers. Wonderful, powerful, strong, committed engineers who have adopted a new technology, never used, to resolve this challenge. And I really, really commend them. Shake up in Ashanti region and Ashanti regional chairman. For your information, the MD did the movements even before the Ashanti regional chairman gave the information. And you can confirm from the records. Check the date he granted that interview and go and check the days the letters were dispatched. It is to ensure operational efficiency. In my organization, once in a while, I move people around. It's just to move strengths around and ensure that we achieve our overall objective. And so when we need to move people around, the MD has my blessing to move people around, aimed at ensuring that we bring about improved efficiency and responsiveness. But let me state, and some people have talked about sabotage, irrespective of your party, irrespective of your religion, irrespective of your tribe, you owe it a duty of care to Ghana to serve in the energy sector with diligence and with patriotism. If we find out that you are not doing so, irrespective of where you come from, we will deal with you. And I think you should encourage us to deal with the few ones or whoever may not be working in accordance with the ethics of the profession. It's not that we are doing politics, but let's ensure that the right thing is done. If you decide that you want to work in ECG, you have decided that you will give of your best. And so should that be. Lessons learned. We've learned one lesson. And the first lesson is that we can reliably supply power without Akosomo. Hitherto, a lot of the engineers believed that Akosomo served as a balance of power, and that without Akosomo, the whole transmission system would come crashing. They have also just discovered that in emergency, they can evacuate power even when the control room is burnt. And what they've done is to go around the control room and use high-level technology to Tema and redistribute the power. And I find this novelty highly, highly commendable. Ghanaian engineers, I'm proud of you. The next lesson is that we need a minimum of about 1,200 of redundancy. Because your next biggest generation plant, you must have its equivalent and above. Because in the past, we've seen the Akosombo failing through the dam drying up, hydrology, and sometimes some challenges. Now, the reality is that we lost the entire Akosombo plant. And in my history and my training in the energy sector, I've never heard this, that you lose the entire Akosombo plant. So it means that immediately we must kick in some measures to increase efficient, cost-efficient and affordable increased generation. It comes at a cost. We must balance it and ensure that we deal with that situation. Suspected arson.